Welcome everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about structure and structural members. Myself, D. Manoj, Assistant Professor of KITSES. First, before we are saying about the structure, let us discuss what is meant by structure. A structure is nothing but it is a combination of structural members in order to carry a load. In this diagram, you can able to see the various structural members are slabs, beams and columns which are grouped together in order to carry the load which is acting on the structure safely. The load can either be a single load or either the load can be a combination of loads. This is the definition of structure. We already told structure has been formed via various structural members. So first we'll discuss about the various structural members which forming the structure. This is the definition for structural members. The various types of structural members which forming the structures are beams, columns, strut, beam column, cables and arches, and finally plates and slabs. First, we'll discuss briefly about beams. Beams is a flexural member of a structure. When a load is applied, beam will produce bending moment and shear force. This is how the shear force of a point load will act, and this is the bending moment. So it is subjected to a load that produces bending moment and shear force, but it won't resist the axial forces. Next, we'll discuss about the classification of beams. Beams are generally classified based upon their support conditions. They are simply supported beam, fixed supported beam, overhanging beam, double overhanging beam, continuous beam, and finally cantilever beam. This is the illustration of diagram how the various types of beams will appear. First, we'll be discussing about simply supported beam. The simply supported beam is the beam which is formed by two supports, which is nothing but one end is pin jointed support, another end it is roller jointed support. If you see the property of the support will allow rotation, but it won't have any resistance for the moment. Therefore, the moment at the support will be equal to 0. Next, we are going to see about fixed supported beam. The fixed supported beam, as the name illustrates, both the ends will be fixed end. It is a beam that supported at both the ends and it is restrained from rotation. As the fixed end won't allow any rotation, it is restrained from rotation. Next, we are going to discuss about overhanging beam. The overhanging beam is same as like a simply supported beam, but instead of the beam is completing within the support, one end it will be extending beyond one support, that is one end of the beam. If you see here, after the roller end, the beam is projecting beyond the support, which is known as overhanging beam. Next, we'll see double overhanging beam. Double overhanging beam is also a simple supported beam where the extension will be beyond both the ends of the support. We can able to see after the pinned end also the beam is projecting, after the roller support also the beam is extending. Next, we'll discuss about the continuous beam. Continuous beam is nothing but if the beam is extending beyond over than two supports, it is known as continuous beam. You can able to see here the beam is extending beyond two supports, that is the third support also, which is known as continuous beam. Next, we'll discuss about the cantilever beam. The cantilever beam is nothing but it is supported at only one end, and you can able to see that as the end is fixed, it is restrained from rotation. The property of the cantilever beam is nothing but one end should be fixed and the another end should be free. We have completed the various types of beams based upon their support condition. Now we'll be discussing about the next member, column. Column. This is an illustration diagram of column. The columns are generally classified into two types based upon their shape and their reinforcement. They are rectangular type column and it is round shaped column. A column is a long vertical member. It is a long vertical member mostly subjected to only compressive loads. The column has been classified based upon the L effective length as per IS 456. If we see if L effective by effective depth or the overall depth is more than 3, it is known as column. Next member which we are going to discuss is about strut. Strut is also a compressive member. Instead of as like column we are finding in RCC structure, the strut will be only found in steel structures as like truss and the roof truss. The main purpose of the strut is to maintain the rigidity and to take the compressive forces which is acting axially. It is not designed to take any gravity loads. If we see columns, it can able to take the gravity loads, whereas the strut it can't able to take any gravity loads. A strut is mainly differentiated by its effective length as per IS 456. If my L effective by the effective depth or the overall depth is less than 3, it is known as strut. Next member which we are going to discuss is about beam columns. Here we can able to see the green and blue are joined together, which we name it as beam columns. The difference between the beams and the beam column it is, if we see beam, it can't able to take any axial forces. It can able to take only the bending moment and it is can able to resist the shear force. Whereas the beam column can able to resist the bending moment and shear force, but in addition to that one, it can able to resist the axial loads. Either it can be compressive or either it can be tension. Next structural member which we're going to discuss is about cables and arches. This is the illustrative diagram of the cables to give idea how the cables will look for you. The cables are usually suspended at their ends and are allowed to sag. The forces which are formed in the cables will be pure tension and are directed along the axis of the cable. Next we are going to discuss about the arches. Arches are similar to cables. If we see cable, it can able to take only tension, whereas the arches can able to take the compressive loads along the axis of the arch. This is the diagram of arch where we can able to see it is in inverted shape. It can able to take the compressive load which is acting along the bridge. And the last member which we're going to discuss is about plates and slabs. This is the illustrative diagram of plate. We can able to see the plates are made of steel. Plates are a three-dimensional flat structure component usually made of metal that are often found in. We can able to found the plates generally in the floors or either in the roofs. Where next we are going to discuss about slabs. If you see slab, this is also a three-dimensional flat structure. The difference between the plate and the slab it is the plates are generally made of metal, whereas the slabs are made of only concrete. Next, as we completed the various structural members which forming the structure, now we can able to enter the various commonly used types of structures. The generally used types of structures are basically classified into rigid jointed frames and pin jointed frames. Further, they can able to classify into plane frames and space frames. Plane frame is nothing but two-dimensional frames, whereas space frames are nothing but the three-dimensional frames. The rigid jointed is classified as rigid jointed plane frame, rigid jointed space frame, where the pin jointed frames are classified as pin jointed plane frame. In other word, we can tell as plane truss. Next, it is pin jointed space frame. In other word, we can tell as space frame. Space truss. Now we'll discuss about the rigid jointed plane frame. Before we are going to explain about rigid jointed plane frame, we have to know how the rigid jointed plane frame will look. It is how the rigid jointed plane frame will look. If we take any frame and if we try to see the front view, that is the X and Y axis, that is how the rigid jointed plane frame will look. So the rigid jointed plane frames are two-dimensional structure constructed with only the straight elements, beams and columns. The horizontal members are known as beams and the vertical members are known as columns. And you can able to see it is jointed very rigidly. The internal forces, if we cut any cross section and if we see the internal forces of the plane member, we will have shear force, bending moment and axial forces. All the members are lies in the same plane. Generally, the frame will be looking in like this. In this, what we are going to do, we are going to select any one frame and we are going to see the front view of the structure in order to get their plane frames. Next structure which we are going to discuss is about rigid jointed space frame. This is the illustrative diagram of rigid jointed space frame. If we see plane frame, we had only X and Y plane, whereas in space frame we will have X, Y and Z plane. It is a structural system which will have three-dimensional assembly of linear elements and the loads are transferred in three-dimensional manner. If we see there, we will be having load only in horizontal or otherwise in vertical, whereas it will have in three-dimensional. It will along the Z line also we will have loads. The loads are free to act anywhere on the frame. And if you see, this is also will be rigidly connected and it will generate shear force, bending moment and axial forces in all the connected members. Next structure which we are going to discuss is about pin jointed plane frame, in other word which is known as plane truss. This is an example of various types of generally used truss structures. They are parent truss with verticals, Pratt truss, Howe truss, K truss and roof truss. Where we can able to find the plane trusses, if we go and see any bridges which is made of truss, we can able to see it is made of plane trusses. Otherwise, if we want to have a look of it, if we go to any high rise buildings which is made of steel, we can able to see the roof truss will be made of the plane truss only, which will have only X and Y planes. This is a pin jointed plane truss will always be made of a triangular system. You can able to see the structure is made of the triangular system of members that are connected by means of pin joint. All the joints will be of pin joint in such a way that they predominantly transmit the axial forces. That is, the forces will be acting only horizontal and vertical and the forces will act only at the joints, not along the members. If we see rigid jointed frames, the load can act anywhere. That is, it can able to act anywhere in the members. But if we see pin jointed plane frames, it can act only at the joints alone. In pin jointed plane truss, all the members are assembled in only X and Y plane, that is two-dimensional. The truss members could be either vertically or horizontally loaded, or it can able to loaded in the combination of them. Truss can be loaded only at the joint, as I already told. And finally, we are going to see the structure pin jointed space truss, that is pin jointed space frame, which in other words known as space truss. This is an illustrated diagram of space truss where we can able to see the structure is there in X, Y and Z planes also. We generally know the difference, the space is nothing but it has three-dimensional, that is X, Y and Z planes, and all the members carry only the axial compression or tension. Some of the example of space trusses are cranes, communication towers and power transmission towers. If you want, you can able to Google the images and you can able to check it, where it will have the members in X, Y and Z planes. Whereas if we see the plane truss, we will have only in two-dimensional, that is only in X and Y planes. I hope you like this video. At the bottom of description, I have attached the quiz link for this session, where you can able to self-assess yourself what you have learned from this session. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.